Hey, shalom, call out, yeah, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakadash, double honors, salutations to the elect, men, women, and children that believe are the 1/3. I want to hit a couple of pointers on these women suffering the judgment coming, and also Babylon, through the fact of these nightclubs in these cities, especially major cities like New York, even in UK, London out that way. A lot of these nightclubs, because London ain't nothing but a big ass New York. It's like it's Twin City, but all these cities kind of try to mimic itself behind Manhattan and New York and shit. But these nightclubs, man, these women is done because one grounds of actually like you meeting a woman, it would be a nightclub. But these nightclubs closing down because men, with the help of the internet. See, these women always fucking been up to no good, since our grandmother did, since slavery, since the garden. But a lot of men wasn't hip to the shit that they was doing. They wasn't, some dudes is fucking slow. So, all they tricks and trades, the woman code wasn't out there like that. But now, with the help of the internet, it exposed the woman code to where even other women expose the woman code, getting on other women, nigga woman getting on other nigga women, or women period, and that's why women hate when other women break down their psychology or the secrets they do. They look at you like you the worst bitch on earth. Like, how dare you teach them our code and like go against the grain, because they the weaker vessels. So being a weaker vessel, you naturally develop like a hive mentality. Like they think in groups, and because you got to come together to survive when you're the weaker vessel. So somebody was to give out the code of the survival tactics, it kind of be hated. But Salakia, the woman, so yeah, they going to these bars and clubs and shit like that, but men ain't up in there. For one, y'all push men to be sodomites, and emotional, and like tap into your feminine side. And ain't that many men out here anyway, because y'all women outnumber men, So a lot of them switch to the sodomite side, and you going to these clubs and these singles events, ain't no men up in there. Very few, or if any, because it's like, yo, I'm not spending my money just to get rejected or buy some bitch some drink. And studies have shown that like 80 to 90%, it was high, definitely above 75, of women that's in clubs are in some type of relationship. They like married or in a long-term relationship. So that's like a breeding grounds for adultery. Your bitch talking about she going to the club or she going out. And a lot of times these women, they won't, sometimes they go to the club just to, socialize and have dudes drool over them. And sometimes they don't deal with nobody or nothing. They come back home to you. So I know that side of it, but what they are at the club for, they looking for Mr. Right. Now, the bitch is straight up bullshit, it doesn't matter. Anybody can kind of leave with her. But if she ain't a hoe to that degree, she looking for Mr. Right. So if a certain type of dude walk through the door, what she's doing is she's hoping and praying to God that this guy will come over there and talk to her. And if he do, your bitch is gone, or she's definitely getting smashed that night. Or she might even leave you, because all these women got the ideal guy. And what guys don't know, a lot of them is like placeholder dudes, meaning that the chick don't really want to be with you, but she just with you for now until she find who she wants to really be with, you know? And most dudes play that position. But these clubs shutting down, and they said like there's clubs and bars and strip clubs and all that shit. That shit is everywhere. But as the squeeze get tighter on society, that's what the elite's pushing anyway. You know? As the squeeze get tighter, till I'm on the road. You know, people ain't gonna be making it rain and shit like that. Even the drug dealers gonna be like, fuck that shit. Then these drinks, you know, you go, man, in New York, Manhattan, man, a fucking beer is like $15. Certain parts of New York, $10, $15. So you going out to buy bitches drinks, you know, that you don't even know, just in hopes that they give you a conversation or a smile. Sometimes these bitches will walk up to you and asking you to buy them a drink. When I was in South Carolina, bitch did that to me. I reversed the game though. I'm like, hell no, what the fuck I look like buying you a drink? I don't know you. She walked up to me. You know, I looked at fly and shit, had my jewelry and all that, my grills in, hair done and shit. So I'm like, bitch, you better ask one of them. So it was like a bar/strip club. So I wasn't on the strip club side. I was sitting with the bartenders and shit. That's kind of my MO when I'm at the bar and shit or whatever. And I was like, yo, fuck that. Like, why don't you buy me a drink? Or basically get the fuck out of here. That's like what my attitude was. She actually bought me a drink. I think she bought the brother a drink too. She bought us both a drink. It's a correct chick. Her mother was Esau, but her father was Issachar. Halfway decent chick. But anyway, you know what? And then a lot of people coming into these bars, you know, because sometimes these bars and clubs and shit, damn, ran over a fucking deer. But he was dead though. They had him on the side of the road. But Issachar, I mean, not Issachar, these bars, you know, they running out of, you know, they made a lot of money off of drinks, because, you know, some bars have like a 1 drink minimum, because that's how we used to do. We get fucked up before we go in the bar. That way they be like, all right, you gotta buy at least 1 drink. We'll buy the cheapest shit, a water or fucking Corona or some shit. You know what I mean? And then and that we'll save our money like that. Like, well, we ain't gotta, you know what I mean, be buying fucking drinks all night. We already put down on a big bottle of Henny. You know what I mean? We drunk that. We was already nice drinking. You know how it is. We drinking before we hooked up a little bit. Then we got together, went to the liquor store. Then we went in the club. So a lot of these clubs be like losing out on drinks. Now, they only hope was that you bought a woman a drink. But dudes ain't even going to the clubs no more. Then you gotta pay to get in, and these bitches is real snobbish. They been snobbish, but they will hide it behind smiles and like, but now with the help of the internet, you able to actually see their true nature. And a lot of guys not be. A lot of guys sodomites, and a lot of dudes is weirdos. Meaning they like video game addicts. You know what I mean? So computer whiz, weird in the house weirdos type shit. You know, they was bringing out too that the teachers, I might touch on that another time, that how the teachers are quitting because these kids are fucking bug outs. So that's another point. Then, like retail as far as shopping, because, you know, dudes, you know, when they go to the club, a lot of times you get the fresh haircut. You know what I mean? You get the dreads done. I ain't with dreads, but, you know, this the world. So you get the dreads done, get the braids done up. You know what I mean? Because you trying to pull something for the night. You know what I mean? And that whole club scene, that shit is a facade because everybody in there act like they fucking happy. Like, them niggas is miserable. Like, really, your ass about to go to work tomorrow. Your fucking grandmother got cancer. You with a bitch that don't love you. You got all types of child support. These women be having breast cancer and all fucked up. And, you know what I mean, dealing with they bullshit. You know, it's Babylon. So they get nice and dressed up and go to the club and act like they living a life. But motherfucking, you ain't living a life. Your life is a fucking living hell. But you come out on Saturnalia, Friday night, Saturday night, in the spirit of Bacchus, and you fucking party. You party it up and do it up. But really, you take all that shit off, you know, and some of these clubs are super exaggerated, you know, from the point of, you know, they got, especially like Miami, you know, you got the Rolls Royces and the Ferraris and the Bentleys, but a lot of that shit is rented. So, and you know, rent the boats and shit, and you like, man, these people are having a good time. But they ain't having no good time. They having a good time for a few hours. And they get fucked up and they get high and drunk to escape reality for them few hours. Then they go back to their miserable lives. So all that shit is bullshit. But, you know, that kills the retail industry as far as you shopping. You know what I mean? You getting some new slacks. You going to the fucking dry cleaners, you know, or the laundry, even the laundromat losing money. Because all of that shit, all of that shit is like a part of like clubbing. Then the woman, you know, get their hair done, nails done. They do that shit anyway. But like the whole club scene, you know, get an outfit and shit like that. But now, people like, man, the hell with these women. And women fucked it up for themselves too, because, you know, even back in the day, just to sleep with a woman, you got to marry them. Like, you couldn't get no pussy without like marrying a chick. I mean, it was hoes around, but not like now. But like, you know what I mean? You had to like, so like, you had to, you know, you wanted to deal with a woman, you had to marry. Their fathers was around and shit like that. So like, if you want to get a sniff of some box, you had to tie the knot. But now, like, with the help, you know, of the internet too, and hoflation, I call it hoflation. Like, if you want to deal with a woman, because that was the deal, like, you know what I mean? You couldn't deal unless you was like trying to marry them. You know what I mean? It was like really hard to like, you know what I mean? But now it's kind of like, why would I, like me, I take myself for example, I'm a single man and shit like that, you know, working on myself and just whatever, don't got children and shit, make my own money. So like, why would a guy like give up his freedom, his meat, his money, energy, attention, time, and his space, and his space to commit to a woman? Now, before you had to do that so you could get some, you want a piece of ass, that's what you had to do. Like, it wasn't no like, but now it's like, yo, you could get a piece of ass without committing to a woman. And that was always the game between men and women. You know what I mean? Can I get a piece of ass without committing to you? And the woman's game was, can I get in your pockets and get you to pay for shit without giving you a piece of ass. So they want to hold off on the ass, and we trying to hold off on the money. But it was a fair exchange with marriage. It's like, all right, I'll give you the ass, I'll be a wife and all of that, but you got to marry me. So that was the deal. But now you could get ass and have sex. Because it's like, why go to the club and not, it's a chance you don't get laid and deal with all of that. Well, you could just go on List Crawl or one of these sites, and you could pick up a whore and do your thing and save you some time and save you the headache. It might cost you $200, $300. But at the club, when you do the economics at the club is going to cost you a bunch of money and frustration. And, you know what I mean? You know, the clothes, your jacket, the dry cleaners, the new outfit, the haircuts, like just cut to the chase. So inflation helped, you know, ruin the whole club scene too. Then a lot of men just left the country, you know what I mean? Or they are happily married to the point where, you know, like, nah, I'm just good. I got my wife, I'm good. I might step out once in a while, twice a year, some shit, but I'm good with my wife. So you got a lot of men that's like that, you know? It's a lock here for the indicator. I gotta make this turn. Yeah, so this whole club scene, you know, I'm gonna go to the club and shit. Ain't shit at the club. Know what I mean? The clubs be dry as hell. I never really liked the club per se. Maybe I hit the strip club once in a while, but like, I never really liked the club per se. I did like bars and lounges where you could, like, you know what I mean, kick back and chill type shit. But that club scene was just like too much for me. Even the strip clubs, when I did it, I went because like maybe a friend or a brother wanted to go, like, yo, let's go, you know. I'm like, all right, whatever. But I did not feel cool giving my money to some chick like for a fucking lap dance. Like $10 for a fucking lap dance. Like, hell no. Like, because like I got blue balls and shit, like, and like, or you just, hell no. I felt like a sucker doing that shit. So at the end of the day, man, that's a major part of America's downfall, these clubs closing. You know, because Esau gonna have shit virtual and digital. Like, he got it now with the OnlyFans and all that shit, you know what I mean? People could party from their webcams and shit like that. Or the people will get up. You know what I mean? Because the club ain't nothing. It's a scene, you know what I mean? Strangers and shit there. But all you got, you know, you can have a club at your house. Hey, we used to do that back in the day. House parties, man. You know what I mean? Fuck a club, had the homies come through, bring your girls through. A lot of y'all don't know about that. House parties. Bring your girls through. We get a bunch of liquor, the mixed fruit punch, you know what I mean? Where all of that shit was death in the bottle. The punch they used to make. And you drink that shit, you know, you get lap dance for free. You just jump behind the girl, she give you a lap dance or some shit or whatever. You know what I mean? That was that. That was it. You know? But them days is over with, and the whole club scene, that shit is dead too. Yeah. So, and chicks wondering, like, you know, where the guys at. I mean, y'all pushed them to be sodomites. You know what I mean? Y'all ran them off, especially the nigga woman with her attitude and shit like that. Ran them off. So, and guys, a lot of guys just ain't beat no more. Like myself, like, you know, it's just like, this shit ain't just worth the headache. Before it was worth the headache, not really, but like now this shit just like, man, I'm good, like, you know what I mean? And it be chicks I run across on my daily travels at times. Some of them I'll be like, you know, they'll be like, you gonna talk to me? They don't say that, And that's one fucked up thing about being a woman. They can never really fully approach. You know, and even if they did, it's awkward. It's kind of like a mouse running up to a lion saying, do you want to eat me? The lion like, hell no, you probably sick or something, like, you know what I mean? So that's not really, they're not designed to like pull the trigger as far as approaching a guy. But yeah, it's just like, nah, man, you know, I'm good, you know, because, you know, I talk to Eve, you know, yo, what up, like, you know, and they think, you know, a lot of times they think because you talk to them or you hold conversation with them that at the end of the conversation, you're going to be like, hey, so, you know, like, can I get your number? I don't say none of that shit, like, all right, late, bye, fuck out type shit, like, you know what I mean, or like, whatever, like, but I'm not about to like, all right, nice talking to you, like, pew, I'm going. They be looking stupid, like, oh, damn, this nigga ain't asked for my number. Because, like, if I want, I'm in monk mode, you know what I mean? But if I wanted to deal with a woman, I would just buy some shit, to be honest. Like, I don't be off of that heavy, but, like, if it's really like that, you got that scratch, you know what I mean? Like, and you like, man, you know what I mean? Just purchase you some shit and keep it moving. Like, you renting it, you know what I mean? It's like a car, you know what I mean? And people compare cars to women all the time, you know what I mean? Like a car, like you could get in a rental and you ain't got to deal with the headache of owning it. You just get that shit back and go about your business. But when you own a car, like, you can't leave, you know what I mean? You leaving on certain streets, you know what I mean? Or you left it over here, or, you know what I mean? You could abandon a rental. Like, the rental company, that's their problem. They got to come get it. You know what I mean? You ain't got to put no fucking oil change, none of that shit. You know what I mean? You just drive it, rent it, when you done, get that shit back. So it's kind of like that. And that's not, and I'm not glorifying this in a sense, because society is not supposed to be like this. You know what I mean? But since, you know, Esau put the back, because men always been the same since the beginning of time as far as how we move. It's the woman that changed. You know what I mean? We always been basically pretty much the same. And these women, they push men to the edge and like, yo, like, and from seeing other men go through it, it's just like, yo, man, hell no, I'd rather stay single. And it's not good that man should be alone, but at this point, it's like, yo, if you're a single man, like Paul said, man, you rather just stay single, man. Because if you commit, now, could you go out, have a nice time with a chick or whatever? Yeah, fine. But if you commit to a chick, they're going to take up your meat, your money, energy, attention, and time, and your space. You know, naturally, they just do that. And there's nothing wrong with sacrificing that. But at least let it be worth it. But nowadays, chicks not even worth it. Save yourself, man, at the end of the day. To the Lord bomb this shit and we get to the kingdom. Or you won't happen to wind up in some foreign country, but Babylonian chicks is done. Now, there's some decent ones out here, but like, don't think you where a lot of dudes fuck up at, I'm going to leave Drake this to, and I'm going to be up out of here. Where a lot of dudes fuck up at is they think they special. Yeah, I know guys getting burnt out here, and I know the marriage rate and the women, and you know what I mean? But nah, not my girl. My situation different. With me, I don't fucking think I'm special. And we servants of the Lord. But I don't, you know what I mean, don't think, I don't know, yeah. But can the Lord send somebody? Of course. Keep your eye out if you're looking, but like, just to be out here gambling, rolling the dice, thinking you special, you a goddamn fool. And with that, man, shalom. Yeah, I'm about to say shalom.